Hey, what's up guys? Hello and welcome to Halo Forge Epidemic. This is Oakley Hadef and I'm here to bring you a map that was made by AJ, UC, and myself. So this is going to be game type Shields Up. Map is called SAW Arena. So this game type basically works. One team is all infinite hardlight shields, the other team is bottomless clip saws. There's a hill covering the entire map and it's elimination, so both teams have a chance to wipe each other out, and of course we'll have different strategies. Now the game type, as I said, is Shields Up. This is a game type that we'll be keeping as it is, and what we'll do is we'll create multiple maps for it on different Forge environments with all sorts of different types of gameplay. So the first one here, as I said, this is SAW Arena. It's going to be a symmetrical play space where both teams will have a chance to sort of delve into this game type and try different options. So what you can see before is in the tighter like corridors, what you can do is set up a phalanx position. In the open areas here, you can even form up in a circle, pull off a Roman sort of testudo formation, and defend yourself from the saws. So it's really cool gameplay. I love the infinite shields against the infinite bottomless clips. It makes for a really cool gameplay that's awesome that you don't see in Reach or in Halo 4 at all, either of them actually. So over here what you can see is now that they've split up our formation, we're forced to run around and run away. And what you'll see is that even though that happens with good coordination, you can call for a reformation of the line. So that's what we did right here. Even though we broke apart, we decided to reform over here and set up our defense again. So you're going to want to mic in this game type because it requires a lot of teamwork, a lot of coordination in order to survive. You can see here, once fire is concentrated, players will die pretty quickly, and that goes for both teams. So we're down there. You can see we put kind of UC up in a corner, and then we can go ahead and start finishing him off. Otherwise here, as we're panning over, you'll see one of our various cone guardians on the map. We're looking over you, and this is something we'll probably extend to all our maps, have different cone guardians on them, just as a kind of a playful thing to do on our SAW arenas. Now over here you can see what will happen with a good, well-coordinated attack. This is in one of our game types when we were playing around with the different damage options, and here we finally, it was a bit too favorable for the people with the hard light shield, so they were just destroying a team. But I thought it'd be good to show you guys that you know, both teams can be destroyed. But here what we're going to do is go ahead and show you 2 rounds of gameplay, one from either side, and it's tons of fun. It's awesome. This plays like nothing you've ever played before. It's really great. What you're going to do is, if you're on this team, you're the hard light team. So what you're going to have is access to a hard light shield with infinite regeneration. So here we're moving around. This team is much more mobile than the other side, so what you're going to want to do is split up or attack in a coordinated fashion, to go ahead and take out this team. Now as you can see there, we ran into the entirety of the SAW team, so I'm going around flanking from the side, hoping to help out these guys, but the SAW team is putting on some pressure. So you can see here I break my shield out just to get off a punch, and then I have to fall back because I took a lot of damage. So that's something you're going to want to do, is cover each other, make sure you pick off players one by one, and then get your shield back up. Now bullets will reflect off your shield, so you can reflect them back at the SAW people, but also keep in mind that it might be reflected back into your teammates, so make sure you're well aware of where the bullets are coming from and where they're going. So over here we're going once again over to the other side. We noticed that the SAW team was getting split up, so over here we're picking off those members who were left out. So there's 2 SAW players over here calling for more help, but they're getting assistance. So what I decided to do at this point is talk to my team, see what's up, reassess the situation. So we're losing players over on that side, so what I decided to do is swing over and help out these players here. Try to catch them, but I can't. But what that does is it distracts AJ, UC here, and it allows my teammates over there to have a 2v1. What I do is I swing over, give this guy a quick punch, this guy a quick punch, then go back with my hard light shield up. So you can see this is a game of opportunities, strategy, deployments, and flanking. So it's really cool. In Halo games, you know, it's always important to flank, but even more so in this game, just because of the fact that a frontal assault on a hard light or a frontal assault on a shield will get you nowhere. So you want to flank, you want to coordinate. Over here we've isolated the final players on this team, and over here once you get around the sides, get out the good angles, that's when the assassinations start rolling and you'll be able to knock these players out. So over here we score a double assassination right there, and that about wrapped it up. Keep in mind though that both teams do have a pretty good chance of winning. I've seen both teams, you know, pull out wins, and it's really fun. It just requires teamwork and strategy. So let's go ahead and look at this side. This is going to be the SAW team, so make sure when you spawn you pick up a SAW before heading out the door. This team, you do have the ability to sprint, but overall you move slower than the other team, and that's just to compensate for the fact that you have these huge weapons that you're carrying. So you want to make sure you're deliberate with your movement and that you tell your team where you're going. So over here they're pulling off a flanking maneuver. 2 of them, they wanted to catch us surprise. So what I did is I decided to sprint around the side, and that's what you want to do to force players back. Get around their sides, shoot their flanks, and that'll force them back. So that's what we're doing over here. We're forcing this attack back, keeping an eye on the left side to see how our team's doing. So now that guy is getting a bit too far out, so what I start doing is laying suppressive fire, because I know the other team will try and pick him off because he's sort of the lone wolf on this side, so I'm backing him up, forcing these players back. What you can see at this point, however, is that there are 3 of them, 2 of us, so we're calling for more help from our allies, otherwise we would have gotten flanked. Here I get in the animation of being assassinated, but somehow I didn't die, so I was super lucky, and that put me at the back of this team here, so I'm able to put on some shots on their back. And you can see here the whole battle is sort of raging around us, everyone's drawing into here, and what our team is trying to do is slowly back away from these hard light shields. So you see right there was moving forward, you saw his shields almost burst, so we had to pull back. So over here, our team is slowly falling back, their team is slowly pushing us forward. So you have this really cool ebb and flow for the different teams. That's something you hardly get, and it's a nice drawn-out firefight. Over here, we've gained the advantage a little bit. We're starting to pick off these players, but there's a guy in the back who's been harassing us. So what I try and do is cover our backs, put pressure on him, and I'm constantly checking my corners, checking my radar. So we've chased off the guy in our back, and now I can tell over here we're running into some issues because he's been left alone. He's going to get killed. So now we have 3 people moving up here and only 2 people on our back. So what I do is I'm going to move ahead to the side, get a flanking position so that if those players move forward, I'll be able to shoot them in the side. So you want to keep in mind your angles. That's going to be very important, especially when countering hard lights. Always you want to check your radar because you can see right here one of them has come back and he's harassing us from the back. So right now there are 3 of us and 4 of them, so in the long run this will come back to bite us because there's no way we can cover all of them. So we have to make sure we coordinate and we take opportunities to pick off players when and wherever we can. So that guy right there, we know he's isolated, we want to make a move on him, but at the same time we can't leave our backs exposed to the players there. So this guy thought he had me, so I call out for help to try and take him out. I get a little carried away trying to follow after him and kill him. I figured I would do just enough damage to kill him. You know, he's almost dead. Then out of nowhere I just get tackled, so that was a great move on their part. I'm sure he called out for help and used teamwork, and then you can see our guys just getting picked off. So yeah, now we've been split up, we don't have much chances, especially when there's more hard light shields than there are remaining SAW players, so they'll go ahead and gang up on you. But anyway guys, thanks so much for listening and tuning in one more time. This has been Oakley High Def with the Halo Forge Epidemic. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. Check out my file share for the map and game type. Otherwise, once we have the possibility to, we'll go ahead and put the links in the download. So see you guys. Peace out.
Well, make sure to click the links in
First!
Really? Why do you have to say first? What ungodly force makes you want to say first on every frickin' video? How pathetic of a life do you have to get some sort of sick satisfaction from it?
My father died being second.
Pussy.